All right, we're here at Rock Lansing. We got Bobby. We got Saliva. We're going to be going on here in about 45 minutes or so. It's getting a little
close.
It's getting a little chilly out here. I got the hoodie on. You don't. How you doing?
I live in Florida, man, so I love this. I just, it is a little
This
cool
is air
tonight,
conditioned.
but it's it feels good. So I'm just glad because I looked at the weather a couple of days ago. It was supposed to rain, and then I guess it
Really?
held off. That's what I
Oh
read.
shit!
Yeah.
For like the last week or so, it's supposed to be 70s and sunny.
Right.
We had a absolutely perfect weather day today. I don't know who you've been able to catch so far out here, but knowing that you do a lot of festivals, what is it like being on stage at a festival compared to like a club show? What is your main takeaway from each one that you kind of get people to understand?
I treat them the same. Like, I always try to treat every show like it could be the last one, just give it all you got. I think that people, they pay, their hard-earned money to see a good show and just go up there and rock it. I think the festivals are almost like the cherry on top,
Yeah.
when you play the clubs, especially when you play smaller clubs. And I mean, I've played every type of room there is, and when you, I feel like there's a lot of staying grounded and humble in those. And then when you get to play the festivals, it's kind of like the aha moment. This is great. This is like surreal,
And you have obviously a lot more people at a festival, depending on where you're at.
Because you might be like, a lot of people are there to see mini bands and
Correct.
other things. So it's, you just do what you do and you try to just win a fan one by one.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So do you do anything differently at a festival for yourself personally on stage that you would do differently at a club show? Or do you kind of just always...
Maybe hydrate more, because if you're outdoors and it's hot outside or something, when we did like some stuff last year, last summer, upheaval here was pretty hot.
Yeah,
and then we did like Rockville was hot. Sonic
well, that's
was hot.
always hot. Then you got the weather to deal with too.
And you're always on a stage where the sun is directly in your face
Oh,
the
dear
whole
Lord.
time, So it's just, but it's just rock and roll. It's part of it, man. You just go out there and do your thing.
So being with the band, you've been in the band what, like 18 years now?
No, 2011. So
Okay, so
November will be 14 years. Yeah.
I saw one of your first shows. You were at Rockapalooza. I photographed that show that year. That was 2011.
That was that the one that was with Puddle of Mud?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he was pretty ripped
right
on stage that day. But seeing you up there, obviously you're
I've seen all sides of the West.
I think everybody has. But seeing you up there fresh face, now think about it, 14 years later, you're still doing this, kind of killing it. Like, how do you feel you've matured as a musician, a singer?
I've learned a lot. When I first got in the band, it was all new to me. I didn't really, you start to discover things like about the business side of the band. And a lot of people, when you're a fan of something, right? Like I get when fans are frustrated when a member leaves or members leave. And,
yes.
It's because people are glued to, the original art.
Exactly.
But, it's like brands and businesses and stuff, they move on sometimes, and they, get other people and come in and out, and the business still, goes on and thrives if it works. It makes sense.
Correct.
The thing is, like, if we weren't getting festivals and we weren't getting offers and tours, and I'm not seeing the thing increase yearly on the business side of it, I wouldn't be doing it. So, but when things are moving into a better direction than they were last year and the year before and all that, it's like it tells me that there are fans that do care about this and what we're doing, and I'm honoring Wayne. That Wayne was my best friend, and I learned a lot from him. From when I first got in the band, and then, he passed away. And there are things that I always still ask myself, what would Wayne do in this situation? I can hear him like kind of telling me like how he feels. I knew how he felt about the old band, and I knew how he felt about what we were doing with this.
Yeah, because you have to make a legacy for yourself with the band, rather than as a lot of people see. So we all see it. You see people when, like you said, member changes. especially a lead singer. Somebody dies, somebody moves on. Oh, it's just a fucking tribute band now.
Right.
Like I hate seeing that because what are the other members supposed to give it up?
Right.
And move on.
When our situation is interesting because Wayne was like the last original member left, but it wasn't planned that way.
Exactly.
I mean, members just left and for other reasons and things too, and then life just kind of goes on and you find other things to do. I kind of just kept doing this because I feel like I love playing music. I love what this brand is, what it has become,
and that's what it is. It's a brand.
I tune out the negative stuff like that people say. I know it's going to be there,
exactly.
But people are going to hate anything, right? Like you either like it or you don't like
Correct.
it. There's no in the between.
There is.
I get that,
which is crazy.
So I just try to have an open mind and I can tell you at our shows, it's been, when we go out and we do our thing and, I tell people, hey, come see me at merch or whatever. And, they'll line up a mile long, man. Sometimes I'll be out there 3 hours,
That's awesome.
and like, okay,
see,
if it wasn't
personal.
Working, then that wouldn't happen.
But that makes it personal
Right.
for people. And you being personable definitely helps that too, because there's a lot of bands that ego gets involved. They don't want to get out there. They don't want to do the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, you want that. You want that connection with the fans.
I've seen a big increase too with like the shows because of my socials too. My socials have gotten strong.
Okay.
Doing stuff with my daughter on like TikTok and like
that's awesome. See,
and like Instagram even. I think I've like gained 60,000 followers in the last month on Instagram alone. Just doing duet videos with her and stuff. People like see me do like Linkin Park covers and other shit. So because even at merch and when I'm meeting people, they're bringing that up. Oh, I follow you and that stuff. So I think that there's a lot of that too. I think it's great, man. I'm just grateful, that I have this opportunity and this brand that I'm continue to do and been able to do. And, I'm only doing it for the fans, man. Really, I love playing music, and there are fans of Saliva, old and new. We have fans that love both versions. We have fans that it just just try to keep it positive.
I just love hearing you talk about it because you're obviously very on the business side of things, and being 2025, social media overtaking almost everything that we're doing. Like you said, you're doing TikTok, you're doing Instagram. Do you feel that it's more of a full-time job doing social media with the band as well?
I'm doing other things too, man. I've got 2 Prevos. I lease out those, and my wife has a business. We're doing like a million things, and I feel like you have to do that. Like, look,
you're grinding.
You can't just make it living in 2025 just off of the music business.
No.
You gotta do other
unless
things.
you're Metallica or something like that.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, absolutely. But even bands like that, I mean, think about what their bills are. They
still got to play.
They got 300 people on salary, and it's a
crew
business.
And all that.
It's just on another level. That's what I say. Like, when the COVID stuff, people were like, man, all these bands and people are struggling, and people were like, oh, those bands, they got money, they don't need it. I'm like, it's not like that though, because they're workers that work with those bands that depend on those tours and depend on that, and those bands go and tour to support their friends.
I know we're going to lose some sound here shortly, so hopefully we'll cut this up shortly.
But yeah, touring it's definitely hard. You got to save every nickel you can when you're touring these days.
Gotcha. Any new Saliva stuff about to drop?
We're about to drop a bunch of new stuff.
I know. You guys are always waiting. And you guys will do it on like a fucking Thursday morning, an off day, and just be like, oh, we got new Saliva.
Well, we got something.
You did that with Pros, and I was like, wait, what? So that was like one of the last ones.
We got something brewing.
I love how you're like smiling about it too, because it's.
Oh man, there's some stuff coming that's cool. Yeah.
Anything we should prepare for, or just?
I mean, it's just
you gotta rip it.
It's good. I'm glad to be here, man, at Rock Lansing, Michigan has always been good to me and good to us, and you know, all things Saliva, all things rock and roll. Michigan's like one of those, you know, capital states of rock music.
There you
So
go.
we got Machine Shop close by, and you know,
Best venue in the country to me.
yeah, Kevin Zing, I love that dude.
Kevin Zing, and then Jeff Midline is here too, the photographer.
And
So-
you know, Meltdown, love Meltdown. You know, good riff.
Well, Bobby, appreciate you. Make sure you follow Saliva all over. I was going to do that here in a second. I apologize for that. But yeah, Saliva's going to be all over. They're going to be coming on here shortly. I'm going to get a little bit of photos, some video. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, bud.
Thank you very much.